Hello, guys. Hello, everybody. I hope you're all doing very well. Thank you for tuning in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are watching or listening to me from. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I hope you guys are doing very well. Please say hi in the comments. Please say hi in the comments. Let me know where you are tuned in from so that I can just hail you and acknowledge you very quickly. Please say hi in the comments and let me know where you are tuned in from. I always like to know what kind of audience we have on every given day. So please say hi. Let me know where you are tuned in from. I'll give you guys a second to just engage with me. Please say hi and let me know where you're tuned in from. I want to know where you guys are tuned in from. I see you, Adedotun. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you. Afiz Akinlade is tuning in from Germany. Thank you, Afiz. Much appreciated. Who else is here? Adiola is here from London, England. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Who else do we have? Say hi. Let me know where you're tuning from. Let me know where you're tuning from, guys. We have a number of topics to discuss today, but before we get into it, I want to greet you guys. Henry is joining from Chicago in the USA. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Henry. Nice to see you. Who else do we have? Say hi, guys. Come on, we have quite a number of people watching. Say hi, and please, while you are saying hi, make sure you share this video with your friends, your family, whoever you like to discuss Nigerian football with. You know, whichever group chats you're in, so that we can get more people tuned in, so that we can have a more engaging conversation. Please make sure you share. If you're not already subscribed, please make sure you subscribe. And if you haven't liked the video, please hit the like button. It's a little that you can do to support us. Just hit the like button. And of course, throughout the stream, you are able to send us super chats if you want to support the work that we do, or if you want to ask us a question, you can send the super chat. If you want me to just put your comment on the screen and highlight your comment and talk about whatever you're saying, please make sure to leave that comment with a super chat. Super chat costs money, but it's a little way that you can continue to support our efforts to create high quality content. But the one that is completely free that you definitely should do is like the video. As you're joining, just hit the like button. Just hit the like button. I see you, Alex from Charlotte, North Carolina. Olayinka is joining from Oshogbo in Nigeria. Bukola is joining from Vancouver, BC in Canada. John Jones says he's joining from Kabul, Afghanistan. Every single week, John Jones says that he's joining from a different location. I don't know who you're hiding from or who you're running from, John Jones, but I appreciate you for still tuning in despite being in hiding. And I just want to quickly say, please, if you are tuned in on Instagram, if you're tuned in on Facebook, if you are tuned in on X/Twitter, make sure you join us on YouTube. YouTube is the only place that you can catch the full show uninterrupted. The stream will end on other platforms. So please make sure you join us on YouTube. It's also a way that you can keep supporting us because YouTube is our platform of choice for long form video content. So please, if you are tuned in on Facebook, if you are tuned in on X/Twitter, if you are tuned in on Instagram, join us on YouTube. Please. I know sometimes you guys don't like switching apps, but please, if you're on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, join us on YouTube. The stream will end on other platforms, and joining on YouTube is the only way that you can enjoy the full show uninterrupted. I don't want you guys to miss out on the conversation, so please make sure you join us on YouTube. Thank you very much as you do so. I see you, Emmanuel from Swansea. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. On today's episode of the Naija FC Podcast, we have a few topics to discuss. Ola Aina, new contract, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about some transfer reports, transfer rumors around the Nigerian players. Victor Osimhen seems to have made his decision. We'll get into that as well. And, I want to hear what you guys also have to say about Osimhen's decision. And then, of course, we'll talk about Super Falcons getting their 3-0 victory over Tunisia in the WAFCON opener. And we'll also just do a review of the WAFCON Matchday 1. All the games in Matchday 1 have been played. It wrapped up just a couple minutes before I came on this live stream. So please stay tuned to enjoy the conversation. It's a well-rounded one. And of course, as usual, at the end of all my ramble and all my talk, you guys would have an opportunity to call in and to share your thoughts on the different topics that we've discussed. So it is going to be a good one. Alex T said I should hail him again from Charlotte, North Carolina. Thank you very much, Alex, for tuning in. I appreciate you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for tuning in. Okay, we'll get this going. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching or listening to us from. My name is AyoT, and you're watching the Naija FC Podcast. As always, another Monday, another episode, and we have an exciting conversation for you today. I say we, but this week it is only me. Unfortunately, my co-host is not available because he is currently in Morocco to support the Super Falcons of Nigeria in the WAFCON 2024. So you're going to be hearing just my opinions today, but as always, we will give you guys a chance to share your thoughts as well at the end of the show. Quite a number of topics to cover today. We'll start with Ola Aina's contract. We'll talk about some transfer reports, transfer rumors. We'll talk about Victor Osimhen's big decision, the transfer saga that never ends, seems to be ending right now. And then we'll wrap up with the WAFCON 2024, talking about the Super Falcons' victory over Tunisia, and then doing a review of Matchday 1 of the tournament in general. First things first, I want to say big congratulations to Super Eagles defender Ola Aina, who has signed a new contract with Nottingham Forest FC in the English Premier League. Ola Aina has extended his stay at Nottingham Forest until 2028. Of course, Ola Aina was the reported subject of different clubs' interests. You know, we had teams like Liverpool, we had teams like Chelsea, we had teams like Juventus that were all reportedly interested in online or services, but he has committed his future to Nottingham Forest. 3 more years. Of course, Forest initially was this team when they came up that people tipped to go down, and in the first season, they nearly went down. You know, we have to say a lot of thanks to Taiwo Awoni for keeping them up in that year. And then this past season, they qualified for Europe. They only made the Conference League, but for a very large part of the season, they were in the top four. It looked like they would qualify for the Champions League, maybe the Europa League. You know, their end of season form wasn't the best, but still, for Nottingham Forest to qualify for Europe is a massive achievement for them. And Ola, of course, was a very, very key part of their success in this past season. So it is no surprise that they wanted to renew him. It is no surprise that they wanted to keep him at the club for his prime years. But of course, because of the different transfer rumors and transfer news that we're hearing around online, a lot of us must have expected or thought that he would make a transfer. That has not happened. As far as the decision to stay at Nottingham Forest, you know, I think it's a good one. Would I have liked to see him play at Liverpool and replace Trent Alexander-Arnold? Yes. Would I have liked to see him play at any of the bigger clubs in the Premier League or in the world? Yes, of course I would have. But you know the saying that sometimes the grass is not always greener. I think all I know is at a very crucial stage in his career where he needs to be playing football week in, week out because he is playing his best football. And a move to a big team would be nice, but if the move to the big team doesn't give him the same opportunity that playing at Nottingham Forest would give him, then is it necessarily the right move for him? Nottingham Forest, when he's fit, you know that he's almost guaranteed to play as long as he keeps his performances up. You know that they love him, they appreciate him at the club because of what he's done already. He has a family. The camaraderie between the Nottingham Forest players is incredible. He's building a social brand for himself as well with all his Snapchat stories and everything that he does on social media throughout the season. He's comfortable. Now, I know some people would say, hey, it's good to leave your comfort zone. I would also say, yes, it's good to leave your comfort zone sometimes. But all I know has already done that. All I know has played in Torino. He has played in Italy. And then now he's back in England. He's back in a land where he knows. He's back in a league where he came up but couldn't quite cut it at the start and is now doing amazing things. So I completely understand his decision to stay. And I'm sure that because of all the teams that were interested in the services, Nottingham Forest would have sweetened the pot by giving him a little bit of extra something, like, okay, we'll add something to your salary just to make sure that you're excited to stay with us and you remain motivated. Because at the end of the day, who work must chop. So I'm pretty sure that the contract renewal would have come with a pay rise. With all those things, I can understand completely why Ola Aina would make a decision to stay at Nottingham Forest. And I think that it is one that in the long term, he can look back on and say was the right decision for him. Of course, it's football, it's life. Anything can happen on any given day. But I think for the most part, the risk associated with this decision is very low. And Ola Aina will probably be happy about the decision that he's made. He's already resumed preseason training. He's all smiles. It's a club that he's enjoying his time at. They love him there. He has a lot of friends. I think it would be very fine. I personally am fine with the decision. I think it's a good decision that he has made. And I expect him to continue doing what he was doing last season at Nottingham Forest. Maybe this season they can qualify for the Europa League, maybe even the Champions League. Even though the Premier League is probably going to be tougher this next year, but it's a big one. It's a big one. I'm happy for Ola. He's one of the nice guys of Nigerian football. Nice guy in football in general. One of the better players that we have right now. Happy to see him playing for a team that is doing well in the English Premier League and not a relegation threatened team. Hopefully they don't go back there, but not a relegation threatened team. Not a struggling team in some random league. Playing in a top league, playing for a good team, and long may it continue. Long, long, long may it continue. Okay. Thank you for your support, Bola Akombi. I see you. Thank you very much. I see you. I see that you have a question. I'll address your question later in the show. Please remind me when we get into the talk about the WAFCON. I don't want to switch to a different topic and then have to come back. So please remind me when we get to the conversation about the WAFCON. Adedotun, shout out Adedotun, he's a member of the channel. He says, don't forget that they have won the Champions League twice as well. Talking about Nottingham Forest. Yes, I mean, historically, they are a relatively good side, but obviously in recent years, they are still trying to come back to the kind of glory that, you appreciate with them in the past, like winning the UEFA Champions League. But a good one as far as I'm concerned. Ola Aina remains at Nottingham Forest for another 3 years. Of course, we know that in football, contract terms or contract length does not necessarily mean that he's going to be there for all the 3 years. If somebody comes for him, he can still leave in the future in a year or in 2 years. But we have to see how that goes. We have to see how that goes. Thank you very much for your support as well, Remy Ali. I see you. Thank you for the super chat. No question, no comment here, just support. So I appreciate you for that, Remy Ali. Much, much, much appreciated. Okay, that's that on online. Let us get into some talk about transfers. Some Nigerian players have completed moves. I want to say congratulations to Paul Onuachu for completing his move to Trabzonspor. Of course, we've heard for a while that Onuachu was going to return to Turkey, return to Trabzonspor after his brief stint at Southampton in the English Premier League, and didn't quite go as we would have hoped that it would go. He didn't really get time at the start, and then when he started to get minutes, he started to do quite well. But overall, I think we could all see that the Premier League probably wasn't the place for Paul Onwachu. He was able to live a childhood dream of playing in the English Premier League. So that's something that I'm sure he's going to be proud of. And he'll be able to tell his children that, hey, daddy once played in the Premier League. But it didn't quite work out for him. And he has returned to Trabzonspor. Onwachu is now 30 years old. So he's kind of getting towards the tail end of his football, playing days. And I'm happy for him, man. Onuachu conquered Belgium, conquered Turkey before, went to England, back in Turkey. I expect him to score 15-ish, 20 goals in Turkey, and there's really not much that I can complain about when it comes to that kind of transfer. He's still going to make good money. Turkey, they pay quite well, so he will make like north of 1 million or something in a year. Happy for him. Happy for him. I wish him all the best. I wish him success in the season. And I hope that things really go well for him. Because Onuachu is another one of these players that you just wish him well because he comes across as such a nice guy. Honestly, Onuachu just comes across as such a nice guy. Even though Nigerian fans have berated him and have given him stick for such a long time, you've never heard Onuachu making any comments in the media, insulting people or complaining about it that are criticizing him or vexing in the media about something that somebody said about him. And there's no way you tell me that he has not been seeing all the backlash that has come from fans when he plays for Nigeria. Even when he doesn't play and people just start to insult him. Just when he gets called up and people talk about why he's there. He's never responded. He's never allowed these things get to him. He stays focused, lives his life, plays his football. Very quiet guy, even though he's a giant. and I'm happy for him. I wish him all the very best. I believe that he will continue to do well in Turkey, and I'm looking forward to seeing him. We will be watching the Turkish league. We'll get into more of that in a bit, but you guys know that, fortunately or unfortunately, we will be watching the Turkish league this season. So yes, congratulations to him, Paul Onwachu. We also have another completed transfer. Super Eagles defender Bright Osai Samuel has completed a move to Birmingham City FC in the English Championship. Birmingham City FC. Now, this is not the move that a lot of us were expecting for him. Birmingham City, of course, only just got promoted to the Championship from League One this past season. Barasai Samuel was playing under Jose Mourinho at Fenerbahce in the Turkish Super League. There were a lot of reports about Besiktas wanting him, about other teams across Europe, and he has gone to familiar territory in England. Playing in the Championship, Smith Layi is not here today, but you guys know how Smith Layi is always critical of Nigerian players when they go to these lower leagues, or when they play in the second division. So I cannot really tell you why he made that move. Maybe it was just the familiarity of England. Maybe it was the best offer that he had. Maybe it's just something that he wanted to do. Maybe it's close to home. I really don't know exactly what it is. But Badazai Samuel has made that move. Of course, he joined as a free agent. I don't know, man. Because even when I think of it from a financial point of view, could he not have made as much money or even more money elsewhere? Again, I don't know what's in his contract. But from a fan's point of view, it's not an exciting move. It's just not an exciting move. We want our Nigerian players to be playing in the top clubs, in the top leagues. I don't know if you can argue that Birmingham City is a better club than Fenerbahce or even Besiktas that were rumored to interested in him. So it's a tricky one. It's not my favorite move. I will say that it's not my favorite move. I wish he had maybe gone to a different club. Even if he wanted to play in the Championship, I would have liked for him to go to a team that we can realistically, on paper, expect to be contending for promotion. And I just don't see that with Birmingham. They only just came up. I know that they're trying to invest. Obviously, they have ambition. Birmingham was once upon a time a Premier League side, but it just does not excite me. I really hope that things go well for him. I hope that things go well for the club. It really just does not excite me. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but for me, if I could decide for him, if I could help him make a move, Birmingham would probably not even be an option in my head. And I can only wait and watch to see how that one develops and how that one turns out for him. But what can I say? He's a Super Eagles player, he's a Nigerian player. I wish him all the very best. And I hope that things work out in his favor. I really do hope that things work out in his favor. So yes, that's that on Bright Osai Samuel. Another person that I need to acknowledge in the chat very quickly, Alex T from Charlotte, North Carolina. I still remember. Thank you very much for your support. Much, much, much appreciated. Thank you very much, Alex. Thank you for the super chat. Please, guys, if you haven't liked the video, make sure you hit the like button. If you want to support our effort, if you want to ask a question, if you want us to take a comment on the screen, please, please, please leave a super chat. Every amount is appreciated. And of course, it helps us to keep creating content and do a lot of the work that we do. Thank you. Thank you very much. There's still some more transfers that were concluded over the past week. Some smaller names, with all due respect to them. Emeka Eze completed a move to Korum FK in Turkey. I won't get into too much detail about that, but Emeka Eze, I've interviewed with him in the past. If you want to hear his story, you can go after and watch the video where he spoke about his journey, playing in Turkey for a large part of his career, coming from Nigeria, his struggles in Cameroon, etc. I wish him all the best over there. We also had Xavier Godwin. Xavier Godwin has joined Baniyas SC in the UAE. Xavier Godwin, who played last season for Al Okdud in Saudi Arabia, he's making that move. Still in the Middle East, but he's leaving Saudi Arabia and going to the UAE Pro League. I hope that things work out well for him. He did quite well, decent in Saudi, and then now going to the UAE. Money, 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 money moves. He keeps making his money. He keeps playing in the Middle East. Xavier Godin once upon a time was a good player in the Portuguese league, but of course his team wasn't the biggest team. And now that he's gone to the Middle East, when you go there, it's hard for you to come back unless you are on all these mighty, mighty salaries that you feel like you've made enough money. And I mean, Silver Gordon wasn't the biggest name or the biggest star, so I'm sure that he still wants to put something in the bank for his family and for his retirement and the rest of his life. So I wish him all the best, and I hope that everything goes well for him over there in the UAE. I also want to acknowledge and talk about Victor Orakpo. Victor Orakpo, 19-year-old forward Victor Orakpo, has joined Montpellier HSC in the French Ligue 1 on a loan deal. He has joined Montpellier in on a loan deal from OG Cines. Excuse me, Montpellier were relegated, so they are now in the French Ligue 2. Ligue 2. He has joined Montpellier on a loan deal for the entire season from OG Cines. Orakpo, of course, made some appearances for OG Cines last year. Was a teammate of Terry Murphy, but now he has gone to Montpellier, former club of John Otaka, former club of course, most recently, Akko Adams. He's going to wear the number 14 shirt for them. And he's a young player. He's 19 years old. He needs game time. Montpellier have the opportunity to give him that game time. We have an opportunity to see how he plays and to watch him develop, hopefully, into a proper bowler. The guy has some good qualities. He does have some good qualities. And he's one that I think Nigerian fans should watch this next season. And I really hope that it goes well. I think this is a good move for him. Every young player needs the opportunity to shine. And maybe OGC needs just couldn't give him the game time that he needs for his development right now. So this kind of move, it's a good one. It's one that he needs, it's one that he deserves. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how he develops. I like him. Every time that I've watched him, he has shown me little bits of quality. And I want to see him as a key player for Montpellier. Hopefully, he can bring them back up to the French Ligue 1 and have a good season and make a little bit of a name for himself in France. So, yes, that is one to say congratulations, Victor Orakpo, on his move from OGC Nice to Montpellier, a season-long loan. Season-long loan. Okay. Was there any other confirmed transfer that I'm missing? Somebody in the chat, let me know if there's anyone that I missed that has been confirmed officially by the clubs. If there's anyone that I missed, please let me know in the chat very quickly before I move on. Did I miss any transfer, guys? Let me know if there's anybody that I need to hail. Oh, yes, I missed one. I know that there's one that I missed that I just remembered. Chinon Soofo. Chinon Soofo. Striker has joined FC Baltica in Russia and the Russian Premier League from Ada in Bulgaria. Chinon Soofo has joined FC Baltica in Russia from Ada in Bulgaria. Scored a number of goals for Ada, was one of their key players there, did very well, and has now made his move to Russia, taking his talents to Russia. And hopefully that goes very well for him. I'm wishing him all the best. I know Chinonso personally, so of course I have to support him. I like him. He's going to a bigger league, the Russian Premier League. He's probably going to make more money over there. And I really hope that things go well for him. I hope that things go well for him. Somebody said Moses Simon. We already spoke about Moses Simon last week, but of course, if you don't know, Moses Simon joined Paris FC in the French Ligue 1. So yes, we already spoke about Moses Simon in previous editions. We also have Benjamin Tanimu. Yes, Super Eagles defender. Benjamin Tanimu has joined Maghreb Association Sportive de Fes. Maghreb Association Sportive de Fes in Morocco from Crawley Town in England. Benjamin Tanimu has taken his talents back to Africa, but this time he's going to North Africa, joining Maghreb Association Sportive de Fes. Interesting one. After leaving Nigeria and going to Crawley Town, Tanimu just was not able to cut it in England. He wasn't able to get playing time. Most of the time he wasn't even a team sheet entirely. And then now he's back in Africa, but in Morocco this time. I know that a lot of people felt like he didn't even deserve to be Super Eagles at the time. There were a lot of question marks about him not being able to break into the Crawley Town team. And I think, this move kind of tells you the story of how it has been and the kind of player that he is. I really wish him all the best. Every communication that I've ever had with Benjamin Tanimu has been a good one. Every time I've spoken to him, it has been a good conversation. We don't have any official interview yet. It's mostly been, or not mostly, it's all been off the record. But, you know, eh, I don't know what to say. It's not the most exciting move. It's not the most exciting move, but you have to be happy for him. You have to be happy for him. At least he's going to go somewhere where he's going to play football. North Africa, they tend to pay decent amount of money, so he will make some money as well. And rather than him staying in the English League Two and not getting any game time, if he can make it in Morocco, then maybe from there he can move on to greater things in the future. On paper, it's not the most exciting move, but I wish him all the best, and I hope that things go well for him. I will not be watching the Moroccan League. I have to say that full disclosure. I will be tracking. I will be following. I probably would watch some highlights and game breakdowns, but I will not be watching matches of the Moroccan League. I already watched too many random leagues and random matches. I'm not adding Morocco to my list. Unfortunately, I'm not adding Morocco to my list. But I wish Benjamin Tanimu all the very best as he takes on the challenge of playing in the Moroccan league. I wish him all the very best. Somebody said I missed his own transfer. Don't worry. When you truly transfer and you're a superstar, you don't have to be a superstar. I mean, when you transfer, we'll talk about it. We try to cover all our bases, regardless of where you're playing, regardless of your profile. We try to cover everywhere. Lookman has not made any official move yet, so Lookman posted a nice picture of him on holiday. There's nothing that we have to talk about there yet. Samuel Chukwueze also has not made any official move, so nothing for us to talk about there quite yet. Okay, with that being said, let me get into some rumors. Let me get into some rumors. Let's get into some rumors very quickly. Let's get into some rumors. This man, Tolu Emmanuel Arokodare, is reportedly wanted by Burnley. Burnley FC in the English Premier League. Burnley, who have just come up to the English Premier League, are reportedly interested in signing Tolu Arokodare from KRC Genk, where he is currently playing his football in Belgium. Of course, Arokodare throughout this summer, we've been hearing all sorts of reports about Arokodare. This team wants him, that team wants him. At this point, it is honestly not easy to know which one is true or not. It's honestly not easy to know which one is true or not. I will tell you the one that I did not believe. I did not believe when they said Bayern Munich wanted him. I spoke about it. If you guys remember the whole drama that happened, when I said I didn't think he was ready for Bayern Munich, Arokodare wasn't happy about my comments. He was on my Instagram page making jokes and being upset about it. But I think that Burnley is more up his speed. I think Burnley is more up his speed. I haven't watched Burnley in the past season, so I cannot tell you exactly how they play their football. But historically, Burnley has been a team that likes physical strikers, that likes, strikers with presence. And Arokodare fits that mold. Arokodare is not the best ball player. He's not somebody that's going to dribble around and is going to, do some amazing things with the ball. But he can head and he can score from close range. That's something that he does pretty well and has done in Belgium. And I think it is more up his speed. I think if that's how they still like to play their strikers, then he will fit into their team quite well. I think that it also gives him a chance to start in the English Premier League, not playing for a team with a lot of pressure that he'll probably not start or play that many games. And if he does well and scores maybe 10 goals, who knows? Look at Liam Delap, scored 12 goals for Ipswich and got a move to Chelsea. So if he joins a Burnley and he can score 10 to 15 goals in the league, he could easily be on a move to a bigger team. But then he'll be English league proven and then more teams will be able to take a chance on him. I don't think that a Real Madrid or a Bayern Munich or a PSG or any of those big teams will come for Arokodare right now. I just don't think so. The Belgian league is good, but the Belgian league is not the toughest league in the world. And Arokodare as a player, as an individual, was not showing exceptional talent in the Belgian league. I watched most of his games this past season. It was good, but he's one of those strikers that you serve him, and then he finishes. He doesn't create something out of nothing. Maybe once or twice in all his goals, he did that. But he's the kind of striker that you need to put on a plate for him to finish. And then he finishes quite well from close range. So, again, it's hard to know exactly what is true about him because his people have been, let me not say his people, but we've been hearing all sorts of reports in the media about different clubs. For me, this is the first one that I heard that felt very, very realistic. We also previously heard about Fulham potentially being interested in him, which seems like it is possible. But when you consider the fact that Fulham have Raul Jimenez, Fulham have Rodrigo Muniz, who has also been doing quite well as a second choice or sometimes starting the games. Yeah, like if Arokodare comes, who is he going to bench? Where is he going to fit in? But the Burnley seems more realistic. New team trying to strengthen their squad to potentially stay in the Premier League. And if that does happen, I think it will be a good move for him and a good step for him to take his career in the direction that he wants to. Arokodare is one of those players that kind of acts like he's a bigger star than he actually is. With all due respect to him, I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying. And it's a good thing. He carries himself very well. He treats his social media presence very well. He likes to carry himself like he's a superstar already. So this move, if it does happen, is one that can potentially help him to start the steps towards becoming a superstar, and so that his actual stardom can match, the way he carries himself. But I think I'm looking forward to seeing where he ends up. If Arokodare stays in Genk, it will be a little bit disappointing because Belgium, everybody knows that the league there is the developmental league. A player does well, they move on to bigger and better things. So I want him to leave the club. I want him to leave the club. And he likes the English Premier League. He signed with a new agency, CAA based, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, let's see what happens with Tolu Walashe. Let's see what happens with Arokodare. Let us see what happens with Arokodare. Monsieur Gungbade is a member of the channel. He says not a quality striker, but okay, he's still developing. Okay. That is that on Tolu Walashe. Somebody's asking how old is he? Arokodare is 24 years old. 24 years old. Arokodare is 24 years old. 24 years old. Okay, I have one more rumor to take before we get into Victor Osimhen's conversation. I have one more rumor to take before we get into Victor Osimhen's conversation. The media in Nigeria is reporting that this man, Victor Boniface, is the subject of interest from AC Milan. Victor Boniface, of course, we know had a below par season for Bayer Leverkusen this year, especially after his failed transfer to the Saudi Pro League. Things didn't quite go well for him. Lost his place in the Bayer Leverkusen squad. Even started playing as third fiddle behind even Nathan Teller, who he was ahead of in the pecking order before. Things just did not quite work out for him. He's playing under a new coach this season with Bayer Leverkusen. He's already resumed preseason training. Eric Ten Hag is there. It's been reported that Ten Hag is happy to keep him around, but Bayer Leverkusen are also looking at the fact that they can make some money off of him, and they are willing to let him go if they get the right offer. Now, AC Milan, historically a big club, I will say that, but currently an underperforming club. They are looking for someone to strengthen their side after finishing eighth in the Italian Serie A last season. As far as their forwards are concerned, we know that Tammy Abraham has left the club. So they need some options. They need some options. They have Noah Okafor, they have Santiago Jimenez, they have Lorenzo Colombo, they have Samuel Chukwueze as their only forwards currently. So adding a player like Victor Boniface to their side could be very interesting for them. It could add a little bit of dynamism to their team. You guys know that I still think that Victor Boniface is a good player, even though, yes, he can be a bit too playful on social media. Yes, he can appear to be too unserious, but I still think that he's a good player. And if he locks in, if he focuses on his football, if he does everything the right way, I think that he can have a big year and a bounce back year 2025, 2026 season. So AC Milan, I think, would be a good, decent move for him. Now, does he want to go to a team that is not playing in Europe? That's the question. Does he want to go to a team that is currently underperforming? That's the question. So we have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. If he goes there, he'll team up with his Nigerian brother Samuel Chukwueze. That's unless Samuel Chukwueze makes a move out of AC Milan. We know that, of course, things have not gone quite well for Chukwueze at AC Milan. So it's a very tricky and delicate situation. I'll keep watching that one. I don't know how serious AC Milan's reported interest is. I don't know if it is just a rumor that is not actually true, but that's what the media is saying, and that's why I'm talking about it. Victor Boniface to AC Milan, in my opinion, would be a good move, like a nice 7.5 out of 10 type of move. A move that gives him a chance to bounce back. A team that doesn't play with any pressure because they're not doing quite well right now. The only downside to it is that they don't have European football. And we know that Boniface likes to chop up the Europa League, even though Bayer Leverkusen will be playing in the Champions League. So I don't know. I don't know how that's going to happen for him. I don't know if it is going to happen. But if it does happen, I think it will be a good one for him. Not just for Victor Boniface, but also for AC Milan, because AC Milan don't have a lot of quality. I don't know why AC Milan fans think that they are a force or a team to be reckoned with. AC Milan don't have any quality right now. And they should be begging for Victor Boniface, in fact. They should be begging for a player who has been top scorer in the Europa League, who has led his team to a Bundesliga title in the past. They should be begging for him. So AC Milan and AC Milan fans should not be doing any gra and say they don't want him. They don't have quality in their team. And Boniface will at least bring some quality. So yes, that's what I think. That's what I think. It will be an interesting one if it does happen. I'm really watching Boniface's situation very closely. I want to see where he ends up. I want to see where he ends up. You know, does he stay and play under Ten Hag? Is Ten Hag going to give him the chance? We know that Patrick Schick has become their first choice. Does Boniface play, or does he leave and play for a club that he's going to start more and more games? It's one to watch, but I wish him all the very best. I really, really am hoping, I'm praying for a bounce back season. I'm hoping, I'm praying for a bounce back season. I'm praying for a bounce back season. I want Victor Boniface to get back to the kind of form that we saw when he was playing in the Europa League final and getting his team to a Bundesliga title, unbeaten in the German Bundesliga. I knew that AC Milan fans would get triggered. But yes, that's what I think. That's what I think. Victor Boniface to AC Milan. Let's hope that happens. Let's see. Watch that space. Let's see what happens. Okay, I want to just say a big thank you to everyone that is still tuned in. Thank you very much. I hope you guys are enjoying the conversation today. We want to talk about the big one, Victor Osimhen. But before I do, this is the final call. If you are watching on Facebook, if you are watching on X, formerly known as Twitter, please join on YouTube now. Go on YouTube and search for Eagles Tracker, youtube.com/Eagles Tracker NG, and join the stream there now because the stream is ending on other social media platforms. Please, 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 if you are on Facebook, if you are on Instagram, if you are on X, go and join us on YouTube right now to catch the rest of the conversation because the stream is about to end on the platform that you are watching. Please, please, please join us on YouTube. Thank you very much for your attention to the matter. Okay, somebody said AyoT Baye similar J, but we all know that AC Milan is just an average team for now. Somebody else is saying Milan will never beg for any player. That's what Adedo is saying. Okay. Slick says, who told you that AC Milan fans think that they have quality? XXX is saying, Boniface is done with football for now. Man is more focused on comedy. He is rich by his own standards too. Okay. Adeyinka says, AC Milan fans think they are still a top team, but not Dululu. Oluseun says, AC Milan, ancient team. No love for AC Milan in the comments. But somebody here also does not have love for Victor Boniface. Okay, let us carry on the conversation and talk about Victor, the other Victor. Some people will say the number one Victor. Even Boniface himself said the number one Victor. Victor James Osimhen. Guys, You've been following this show for what has it been now? A year and a half, or a year, or almost 2 years. I don't even know how long it is anymore. Osimhen, where is he moving to? Which club is he going to join? Osimhen, 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 Osimhen. The transfer saga that never ever ends looks like it is finally coming to an end. Is it the end we want? Is it the end we hoped for? Is it the end we were dreaming of? I don't know. But Victor Osimhen has reportedly said yes to Galatasaray SK in the Turkish Super League. Of course, the club Galatasaray is where he spent his 2024/2025 season, where he had a historic year, being the top scoring foreign player, winning the Turkish Super League, winning the Turkish Cup. It is being reported that he has said yes and he has decided to stay there, and he is going to sign a 3-year deal, keeping him at the club till 2028. What is left now is for Galatasaray to agree the terms of the transfer fee with Victor Osimhen's owners, his main club, SSC Napoli. This was initially reported by Corriere dello Sport in Italy, and of course, transfer expert Fabrizio Romano has corroborated the story. So we believe it to be true. We believe it to be true. Napoli initially rejected Galatasaray 55 million euro bid for Osimhen, but of course, Osimhen has that 75 million release clause. So if Galatasaray do trigger the release clause, Napoli wouldn't have a choice but to sell him. Victor Osimhen to Galatasaray, we move. Now, what do we think of this decision? Is it a good one? Is it a bad one? Let's look at the situation. Over the course of this summer, and even the last summer, we know that Victor Osimhen had a lot of interest from several teams across Europe. The main stumbling block that we heard was money. His wages, his wages, his wages. Chelsea is not willing to pay that amount. Manchester United is not willing to pay that amount. That was the main stumbling block. Al Hilal came for him. Al Hilal said, "What's the amount you are calling? We will double it, even triple it. Come, we will pay you beyond your dreams. Come, but we need you before the Club World Cup." That's what Al Hilal said. They said, "Come, but we need you before the Club World Cup. We are going to the Club World Cup, but we need you as a top striker." Victor Osimhen said, "No, now don't rush me. Don't rush me. I'll take my time. I'm not joining your club." They reportedly made about 5 different offers to Osimhen before the Club World Cup started. Osimhen said, "Guys, no, I'm not coming." So when he said that, everybody came and said, "You see, Osimhen is not chasing money. What are you talking about? It's not about the money. It's not about the money. He wants to play for his legacy. He wants to be a superstar." Even I said, "You know what? Osimhen, that's a big boy move to turn down that kind of money." Even me, I said that's a big boy move. So I thought maybe he was going back to negotiate with one of the big clubs in the world. He wanted to negotiate with Man U, with Chelsea. Even though when Chelsea signed Delap, signed João Pedro, you kind of knew that wasn't happening again. But there was still that hope that Osimhen would go and negotiate with one of the big boys and end up playing for a top team. But Galatasaray, if you guys have been watching and been following me, you know that I was praying to God Almighty that Osimhen will be one and done at Galatasaray. I was praying that it will be one and done. Because let's be realistic, as a football fan, it is disappointing for me to hear that our best player in his best years will be playing for Galatasaray. Osimhen is what, 26 years old right now? 3 more years in Turkey makes him 29. Now, obviously, contracts, because he signed a 3-year contract, does not mean that he cannot leave. But I'm speaking based on the terms of his contract. 3 more years means that he'll be playing at Galatasaray until he's 29. He's going to give Galatasaray his best years. Now, Galatasaray are playing in the Champions League, they qualified. So Osimhen will still get to play against the top clubs in the world. At least a few of them in the Champions League. Realistically, is Galatasaray a team that is going to contend for the Champions League? No. No. There is no more dropping down to Europa. So a European trophy is out of the question. Probably for the next 3 years. Probably. He's going to win the league in Turkey probably again. Maybe even win the domestic cup again. But when you think of Victor Osimhen's legacy, how does this affect him? It doesn't do any good. It doesn't do any good. I don't know any player that is revered as a top player in world football that spends his prime years playing in Turkey. With all due respect to the Turkish league and the Turkish people, it's just not the league where the biggest players in the world play their football. It's just not. It's usually the upcoming players or the old and done players that play in Turkey. So for me, I'm not happy at all. I'm not the one that is going to make the money, so the money does not move me. Unfortunately, I know people will say, why would our star player ever reduce his wages, etc, all those kind of things. What can I say? Everybody is different. Everybody is different. We're hearing that Gyökeres is reducing his wages to join Arsenal, but everybody is different. If you say something now, they will say you are being disrespectful to our superstar. That Nigerians are the ones that always do Nigerians. Nigerians are the ones that always devalue our other Nigerians. Nigerians are the ones that don't respect other Nigerian players. That's what people will say. But as far as I'm concerned, I feel like Osimhen should have made it work to join a European side. However, he needed to negotiate that contract. I feel like he should have made it work to join a top European side. Galatasaray in Europe. So a top European side. Galatasaray is just not it. I don't care how many players Galatasaray sign. Let's be realistic. They are not contending for the Champions League. Now, if they do somehow contend, I would raise my hands and say I was wrong. But we all know it to be a shock. It would be a shock. It would be a shock. Osimhen should not be playing for Galatasaray. I know that they love him. They adore him there. Do you guys know that there is a lion cub? There's a lion cub, a baby lion. I think it's in a zoo in Istanbul that is named Osimhen. That's how much they love him. They named one of their lion cubs after him, Osimhen Lion. They love him. They did everything in that country for him because he's by far their biggest star. So they did what they should be doing. But Osimhen should not be a big fish in a small pond. Osimhen should not be a big fish in a small pond. Osimhen should be a big fish in a big pond. He's that good. We're talking about the best player in Africa only 2 seasons ago. We are talking about one of the best players in the world only 2 seasons ago. I don't care how you want to cut it, how you want to slice it, how you want to look at it. I know that a lot of people are the hugest Osimhen fans in the world. So anything Osimhen does, as far as they're concerned, is the right decision. There is no talking down on anything Osimhen says he wants to do. But for me, as a fan, objectively, it is underwhelming. It is disappointing. Like, we have to keep watching the Turkish league because of Osimhen, because we need to know what our superstar is doing. I have never for once doubted Osimhen's ability or Osimhen's quality. I know how good Osimhen is. I'm never going to talk down on him. I know how good he is. I know how good he can be. I know how good he can be. I just don't think that this is the move that he should have made. Now, there are people that are saying, go where you're appreciated, man. Go where you're loved. And I understand that school of thought. I understand it. Galatasaray fans love him. They appreciate him. The club loves him. The club appreciates him. The club gives him everything. They even make his daughter do stadium announcer just to create an emotional moment and an emotional connection with Victor Osimhen. So I understand. He has the potential to live as a Turkish Super League legend. I understand. But how many Turkish Super League legends do you guys know? The people of Turkey would know him, but would the rest of the world? And Osimhen has the ability, has all the tools, all the resources to be known globally as a superstar. As a superstar. I'm not Osimhen's brother. I'm not his agent. I'm merely a social media guy. I'm merely a football fan. So this is my fan opinion. I'm not here to discuss his finances. I'm not here to discuss his business. I'm not here to discuss his family or what needs to be done for his family. I'm only talking as a fan of football. Now, I know I said because it's a 3-year contract, does not mean that he has to stay there 3 years. But if Galatasaray spend 75 million and pay him 12 million net to play in their team, if another team wants to buy him, how much do you think Galatasaray is going to call? Like, imagine you sign somebody for 75 million this summer, euros, and in a year, a team wants to buy him. You tell the team to bring at least 90 now. Would a team pay 90 for him? Would a team pay 90 for Victor Osimhen? Like, genuine question, would a team pay 90 million for Victor Osimhen? I'm not saying he's not a good player, but do you think a team would pay 90 for him? Now, I love Victor Osimhen, but lest we forget, Osimhen has only had 2 seasons with more than 20 goals. The season where he scored 31 for Napoli when he led them to the Scudetto, and this last season where he scored 37 for Galatasaray. Scoring more goals in Turkey is not going to help him to become a better or bigger player. I don't think it is going to increase his market value. Maybe I might be wrong. I don't think it's going to increase. If anybody was doubting him now, let's say somebody was, maybe they liked him, but they did not feel that he was worth the money that they are calling for him or the money that he wants to get paid. You think, okay, if he's got another 37 goals in Turkey next season, they will now say, oh, okay, he has done it twice in a row in Turkey, so we want to pay that money now. I don't think so. I don't think so. You never hear about big name signings from Turkey. Well, because big names don't even play in Turkey in the first instance. I see that some people would do everything to justify why these things that I'm saying will not happen will happen. I understand. You're an Osimhen fan. You think that, oh, no matter what he does, or if he scores goals, blah, blah, blah. But I'm being realistic with myself. I don't see anybody in a year coming to pay 90 plus million. I might be wrong. Hopefully, I'm wrong. Hopefully, I want the best for him. But I realistically don't see it happening. We might say there's a striker shortage. Was there not a shortage this year? Why did teams not pay him what he wanted? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't think it is good for our biggest star. I don't think it will help him from a value point of view. I don't think it will help him from a legacy point of view. Osimhen is not going to win the African best player from Turkey unless everyone else is just crap. If Hakimi keeps doing half of what he's doing now, he would always be rated ahead of Osimhen. If Salah keeps doing what he's doing now, he will surely be rated ahead of Osimhen. Even if Lookman does what he's doing at Atalanta, wherever he goes to, he'll be rated ahead of Osimhen. Turkey is just not it. Turkey is not it. Turkey is not a top league. It's not a top league. There's a reason why when everybody is doing statistics now, they will be saying, these are the highest goal scorers of Nigerian players in the top 10 leagues. Because they top 5 leagues, and we know that the top 5 leagues are the leagues that are respected, are the ones that people will watch, are the ones that raise your value. Unless you are a young upcoming guy and here, then you are playing in Belgium, your value is going up 1 million every year, 2 million, 5 million. Osimhen is already someone that has been nominated for a Ballon d'Or, for crying out loud. Somebody telling me if he scores goals in Champions League, it will help him. It will help him for sure, at least to make us know that he's not a scrub. But how many goals is he going to score in Champions League playing for Galatasaray? How far is Galatasaray going to go? Okay, let's say in the league phase, he plays 8 matches, he scores 10 goals. Then his team gets knocked out in the first knockout round. Let's not deceive ourselves. Doing well in Galatasaray does nothing for Victor Osimhen. Let's not deceive ourselves. It does nothing. If he was going to, then why didn't he do something for him this year? Why is it next year that it will suddenly boost his market value? It will suddenly boost interest. Why didn't he boost it this year? Why didn't he boost it this year? I asked that question. Why didn't it boost his value this year? Why didn't he boost the interest this year? Talking about if he does well, it will boost. Osimhen will do well. That's not even a question. Osimhen will do well. He is too good for Turkey. He is too good for Galatasaray. He will do well. If he does not score 40 goals next year, then he's underperforming. What are we talking about? If he does not score, then he's underperforming because at his level, the kind of player that he is, that's what he should be getting in Turkey. And then they are playing Champions League. So that's why I'm raising it from 37 that he scored this year to 40. So I don't see what some people want to see. Other than the fact that maybe you like Osimhen, okay, you just want to support his decision because you know you are his big fan. I'm a fan of him as well. I like him. If you those the OGs know. The OGs know. When I interviewed Victor Osimhen when he was at Lille, since then, even before then, I've been supporting the shared connection that Osimhen and I have, the shared history that I have with Victor Osimhen. I won't get into all the details right now, but go and look for my interview with Victor Osimhen. You'll hear more about the connection that myself and Osimhen have. So I love the boy. I want the best for him. But Galatasaray is not where I'm going to see the best. At least that's what I believe. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. I pray I am wrong. Because when it comes to something like this, I would rather be wrong. I pray I am wrong. I pray he does well and it boosts his market value, it boosts his brand value, it boosts his global reputation, and then he becomes the first player to win the Ballon d'Or from Turkey. Maybe he's not the first, I'm just saying that. But I pray all that happens. I just don't realistically see that as something that is going to happen. I just don't. I just don't. I just don't. Somebody might clip this video now and send it to Victor Osimhen and say, see what this guy is saying about you. Hey, Victor. I'm sure you understand that this is not from a place of hate. This is not from a place of, of bad belly or bad energy. This is from a fan, a football fan, that just wants the best for you as a football player. And especially as a Nigerian football player. If you were English, I won't give it them. You can go wherever you want to go. It doesn't concern me. But as a Nigerian football player, as our biggest fish, biggest bird, the biggest star we have. Oh man, I wanted Osimhen to play in a big team, in a big league, and win big trophies. The Turkish Super League is not going to be revered as a big trophy. When Osimhen retires, let's say he plays the next 3 years there, and they will come and say, hey, Osimhen is one of the best ever Nigerian players. Oh yeah, why? He won the Turkish League 3 years in a row. like even hear how it sounds now. Hear how it sounds now. You call players like Uwanko Kanu, they won Champions Leagues, they won this, they won that. You now say, but Osimhen won 3 Turkish League in a row. The only trophy that Osimhen has won now that is going to be globally revered is that Scudetto, where he led Napoli to the title, unprecedented, unexpected, scoring bare goals. That's the one solid achievement that he has, and his African best, of course. You think the thing he did for Galatasaray this year, you think it will get him African best? It can get him nominated, no doubt, but he's not going to win it. If he does it next year again, Hakimi wins French league, gets to Champions League quarter semis. He's not going to win it ahead of him. Salah scores another 30 goals, gets us another 20 assists. Osimhen is not going to get ahead of him. Those players that are playing in top five leagues and their countries are also doing well. We know how Osimhen's country is doing. We won't get into that conversation now. I'm not happy. I'm not excited. I'll leave it for now. Let me know harp on this too much. Let me not harp on this too much. It's not official yet. It's not official yet. The move has not been finalized yet. So maybe Napoli will keep rejecting Galatasaray's offer until a real big team comes for Osimhen. Maybe. But as of today, this reported 3-year agreements that he has had with the club, I'm not happy about. I'm not excited about it. I'm not excited about it at all. At all. I have a comment here from Uchechuku. He says Osimhen has become a shark in a pond. He should forget African best. If any Nigerian striker raises the bar, he will become second striker in Super Eagles. That second part of your comment is the big part. He said, if any Nigerian striker raises the bar, he will become second striker in Super Eagles. You know, I hear what you are saying, eh? I just don't see which Nigerian striker is going to raise the bar. Arokodare is let's be realistic. Arokodare is not matching Osimhen. Boniface right now is not looking like he's interested in matching Osimhen. Terry Murphy, I mean, he's just coming back, from his knock. So we need to see what Murphy can give us. Awoni has not been playing for Forest. He got injured. We know the injury. We don't know exactly when he's going to be back on the field. I don't really see which Nigerian striker is going to, step up to the point of becoming first choice ahead of Osimhen. But it's football. It's football. Anything can happen. Tomorrow now, somebody can just wake up and just start scoring a million goals. But as of right now, I don't see who go raise bar. Rich Osimhen. As much as I'm saying I don't like the Turkey move, I don't see who is going to raise bar and bench him. It's still our best striker, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it's still our best striker. But thank you for that comment, Uchechuku, and of course the super chat as well. Okay, if you guys want me to highlight your comments, if you want me to answer any questions that you have, please send it with a super chat so I can put it on the screen. I can take your comments. I can answer your question. Somebody said Tolu will raise the bar, even if he has to climb ladder to raise it. Okay. That's that of Victor Osimhen, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let's get into the Super Falcons. I hope you guys watched. The Super Falcons of Nigeria won their first game 3-0 against Tunisia at WAFCON 2024. It was a big win for us, comprehensive victory, well deserved. Not the best performance from the Super Falcons. They missed quite a number of chances, but they were able to get the victory. Tunisia didn't threaten us too much, but there are a couple of things that we did well and a couple of things that we didn't do so well. So let's talk about it. Bola Akombi says he was unable to watch in the UK. It appears that there is no official broadcaster for the game in the UK. So if you're in the UK and you want to watch the WAFCON, you might need to use a VPN and change your location to the US, Canada, somewhere in Africa, so that you can get access to one of the official broadcasters. But it appears that there is no official broadcaster for the WAFCON in the UK. Unfortunately, your guys don't want to pick it up and don't want to pay the money. The other option that you have is to watch it on illegal websites. I will not tell you anyone before they come and carry me. But the other option that you have is to watch it on one of the illegal websites. I'm not promoting bad thing, but that's the other option that you have. Adedotun, you are in the USA. It was on TV in the USA. So if you did not watch it, that one is on you. The UK, it wasn't on TV in the UK, but it was on TV in the USA. It was on TV in Canada. It was definitely on TV in Africa. You just have to find the broadcaster and watch it there. But yes, Super Falcons of Nigeria, 3-0 victory over Tunisia. What do we think about the game? First thing is that Coach Justin Madugu still continues to mix and match his team. Since he took over, we've had like completely different lineups in every match. Sometimes it was a case of them not calling up all the players, you know, but it's always been mix and match. It's always been mix and match. For this game, we had Chiamaka Nadozie in goal. We had Ashley Plumter. We had Tosin Dimei, Osinachi Ohale, and Michelle Alozie. In the defense, we had Ajibade and Indiana Abiodun in the midfield, and we had Tony Payne, Vincent Babachide, and Asisat Oshuala in the attack. Oshuala got the first goal after 4 minutes. Babachide won a free kick. Then she delivered a left-footed cross into the box, and Oshuala kind of headed/shouldered it in. We took the lead early in the game. Then the game kind of became dull. We were not as dominant as our start would have made you think we would be. But thankfully for us, towards the end of the first half, first minute of stoppage time, Omori Sola Babajide drifted into the box and slotted a low-driven shot into the near post past the goalkeeper to make the score 2-0. The second half saw the coach make some changes after Deborah Abiodun nearly got sent off in the first half. She was subbed off at halftime. Oshuala was also subbed off. Babajide was also subbed off. Esther Okonkwo came on, and Esther Okonkwo brought a spark into the team. She brought her creativity, her inventiveness, her exciting style of football. Uchebe also came in the midfield. And we created more chances. But unfortunately, we were not able to find the back of the net, either because we missed some quality chances with bad finishing, or we get into dangerous positions and our final pass, final ball, final cross was just not good enough. But thankfully, in the 84th minute, Ashley Plumter delivered a good ball into the box. Esther Okonkwo headed it down, and Chinwendu Ihezuo left-footed it into the bottom corner to make it 3-0. That is how the game ended, despite Tunisia hitting the crossbar with a long-range effort towards the end of the match. What are the positives that we take from this game? The first positive, 3 points and a clean sheet. That is how you want to start your tournament. You win the game convincingly, you don't concede any goals. You are happy about it. So that is a positive that we have to take. Another positive that we have to take from that game, Ashley Plumter. Despite playing her football in Saudi, Ashley still looks like the player that we know that she is. Ashley still shows us that she's a quality player. She continues to be solid in defense. She continues to be inventive going forward. She continues to be calm and composed on the ball, and she continues to organize the rest of her team properly. Ashley Plumter is a positive no matter how we look at it. Since she joined the Super Falcons team about 4 years ago, she has become a key player for us, and she continues to deliver 7, 8, 9 out of 10 performances in almost every game. Ashley Plumter, definitely a positive. Another positive to take from the game, Omorisola Babajide, a baller. If you watch my content before the tournament, when I did the squad breakdown, I mentioned Omorisola Babajide as our dark horse player to watch. I said she has the tools to potentially go and be our best player at this tournament. Now, I know it's only one game, so I shouldn't get too excited. But in that 45 minutes that she played, she showed a lot of quality. She was by far our most creative player. She was the player that was beating her marker most of the time. She got an assist. She got a goal. And you would think that if she stayed on the field, she could have got one more goal and one more assist. The way she was playing that first half. I'm not certain why the coach subbed her off after 45 minutes. But while she was on, she did very, very well. And she's an exciting player. She's one of Nigerian fans would enjoy watching. That her left foot is dangerous. Just wait till she starts taking some long range shots as well, because she has it in her locker. If you've seen the goal she has scored at club level. So Babajide is a very, very big positive that we should take from it. Another positive, Osinachi Ohale looks like the same Osinachi Ohale from 4 years ago. The older she gets, she seems like she's aging like fine wine. Now, I know she missed an open goal. She has never been a finisher, so forget about that one. Even though she's got an important goal at the World Cup, she has never been a finisher. But defensively, you know what you're getting from Osinachi. Solid, composed, experienced, coordinated. I really, really like her. I really, really like her. And even in that game, she was moving the ball forward quite well. I'm happy that we have a player like that. Even though, yes, she's older now, so we have to kind of look for a replacement to come in a year or two or something like that. But as of today, she's aging like fine wine. She's aging like fine wine. And I think she was a positive that we have to take out of it. And then the final positive that I would say, we are top of our group. After one game, we are top of our group. The other results in our group, Algeria beat Botswana, but only by one goal. So we are top of the group. Now, things that we might need to work on or that we should work on. The first one is going to be attack. We need to be more incisive, more decisive, and more clinical in the attack. While we scored 3 goals, it could have been 6, it could have been 7, it could have been 8. Now it is football. Players are always going to miss chances. But for me, my concern, or why I'm saying that we need to improve, is not just because of the missed chances. It's also because of the chances that we did not create. We got into many dangerous positions that we should have put in a final cross that was good enough. We should have played the final pass that was good enough, and we didn't quite do it. So I think that when we play against a team that is better than this Tunisian side that we faced, if we keep the same nature that we did in that first game, it can come back to haunt us. I think we need to be a little bit better in attack. For me, I think the coach needs to play Ajibade on the right wing. Let Ajibade and Babajide just terrorize the defenders on the flanks. Oshowala o, Ihezu o, Okoronkwo o, anybody you put up front, Onumonu in fact, or Okafor sef, let them just be fed and let them eat. Oshowala, some people were criticizing Oshowala's performance in that game. But in my opinion, I saw her make good runs. The ball just wasn't getting to her. I saw her make good motions in the box. The ball just wasn't getting to her. And I think it is because we lacked a little bit of that final quality on the final ball. And it's something I think that we need to work on and we need to do better at. That's my thoughts. Deborah Abiodun, another position that we need to improve a little bit. I like Abiodun. She has a lot of energy. But if the coach is going to play her the way he played her against Tunisia, where she was getting forward a lot more than you would expect her to, and then having to track back when we lose possession, she needs to be more careful, man. She needs to be more disciplined. She needs to be more accurate in her tackling. Let's be honest with ourselves. Abiodun could easily, very easily have been sent off in that match. If she got sent off, we wouldn't have been able to really fight or argue it. The first tackle, some refs might send her off. She got a yellow. The second tackle, that one was probably not worthy of a straight red. But if she was not already on a yellow card, she would for sure have got a yellow card for that second one. The ref just did not want to send her off. And I have to give credit to the referee. She refereed that game very, very well. Very well. Good use of VAR and everything in between. I have to give credit to the referee. But that Abiodun second tackle, if she wasn't already on a yellow, she would have got sent off. She would have got sent off. So it's something that she needs to be more careful about. We saw this at the opening game of the World Cup in 2023. She got sent off against Canada. 2 years later, after playing a little bit of professional football, you would have thought that she would be a bit more disciplined. But she keeps going into these rash challenges and catching people high on their legs. Potential injury-threatening tackles. She needs to do better. She needs to do better. I love Halimatu Ayinde's job. Personally, I would play Uchebe there because Uchebe can also do better going forward than Abiodun, even though Uchebe is also not the best going forward. But I think she can do better going forward. And Uchebe can tackle just as well, if not better. Can cover the ground that Abiodun covers. So the coach has this dilemma of, quality midfielders that are very similar, and he has to decide who plays. But I think that when we're playing against a team that we're going to dominate the ball, I'll probably play Uchebe. That's what I think about that. And then the final thing that I would say we need to improve on, defending on the right side. Michel Alozie, I love you. I like you as a player. The fans love you. But you know that you are not a great defender. So don't try to do tricky things in defense. Because if you make a mistake, you are probably going to leave your teammates exposed and will probably concede a chance at the very least. Michel Alozie, I know you like to foray forward. Just always be careful. Just always be careful. Because you're not the best tackler. Your positioning is not always the best, even though you try. I love you for the fact that you try your hardest. But you need to be more aware. Don't take chances in defense. Just do your job and let the other players carry on from there. Go forward and contribute to the attack when you have the chance. That's what I will say. And then Coach Justin Madugu, play your best players in their best positions. Let Ajibade play from where she does best. Let all your players play from their best positions so that we can see the best version of the Super Falcons. The good thing is that we're by far the strongest team in our group. So we have 3 games in our group to kind of perfect our strategy, perfect our lineup. And so that when we get to face either Morocco or Zambia, we are fully ready for the challenge that they will bring. Overall, kudos to the coach for the win. Kudos to the girls for the performance and for the victory. And I really, really hope that we continue like this. And at the end of the tournament, we'll be on this stream to celebrate the girls after winning the WAFCON 2024 trophy. Those are my thoughts on the Super Falcons of Nigeria and that victory over Tunisia. The ref denied Ashley a goal. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. For that one, I thought it was a goal, but as objectively, I can understand why the goal was disallowed. Objectively, I can understand why the goal was disallowed. Ashley did jump into the goalkeeper. Now, the goalkeeper did not have a solid hand on it. Ashley probably did not foul her. But goalkeepers are very, very much protected. Goalkeepers are very much protected. So I understand why it was disallowed. I understand. Overall, the ref did a good job. The penalty that we nearly conceded. When I saw it, I said, oh, this is a penalty. But then VAR showed her the previous action and she ruled correctly that the girl had fouled Michelle. So I know she disallowed Ashley's goal, but for me, objectively, I think that some refs might give it, some refs might disallow it. But I think a ref is more likely to disallow it, honestly. Honestly. That's what I think. Let us get into the review of the entire match they won at the WAFCON tournament. 6 games played, fantastic results. 5 games that ended with the team winning and 1 draw. The opening game of the tournament was Morocco versus Zambia, a 2-2 draw. Barbara Banda, I spoke about her before the tournament started, and she did not disappoint. 2 minutes into the game, she scores with a fine goal. And then Morocco equalized from the penalty spot to make it 1-1. Barbara Banda then set up Rachel Kundanaji of Bay FC to make it 2-1 to Zambia. And then Ghislaine Chebak with a fantastic long-range strike. I also spoke about Chebak in my tournament's preview as a player to watch for Morocco. She scored a fine strike to make it 2-2, and the host nation snatched a draw. I thought that was a good game. Two sides that showed some quality. I've always said it about Zambia that while Zambia are very good in attack, they always have the potential to concede chances and concede goals. Morocco as well, good tactically, but they don't quite have the talent level that some of the other African nations have. The second game was Senegal versus DR Congo. Senegal versus DR Congo. It was a very, very comfortable 4-0 victory for the Senegalese. 2 goals for Mama Diop and 2 goals for Nguena Ndiaye. I watched that game, and I will tell you that I don't know why DR Congo are in this tournament. Senegal absolutely blew them out of the park. They did not know what they were doing over there in DR Congo. It was funny by halftime. Thankfully, Senegal kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit in the second half, and the game ended like that. DR Congo did not threaten. Their defense was all over the place. Long balls, their defenders just completely confused. Balls over the top, their defenders just completely confused. DR Congo were very disappointing. Senegal were good, but it is even hard to speak about how good Senegal were because of how bad DR Congo were in that match. Diop's first goal was a beautiful finish. Saw the goalkeeper off her line, lobbed the ball, beautiful finish. They played some good football. They were the best team in match they won, but they played against a very poor DR Congo side. We then went to Group B, and we saw the Super Falcons of Nigeria take on Tunisia. I already spoke about the 3-0 victory, how well we played in certain parts of the game, the things that we need to improve on. Tunisia were not the biggest threats, were not the best team. The Super Falcons did not play their best football, but were able to get a comprehensive victory, and that was something to be happy about. We had Algeria versus Botswana. Botswana, I had high hopes for Botswana. I thought that they could come and show us some quality despite them being underdogs overall in the competition. But against Algeria, did not show me that quality. They had a few players that I highlighted, and I said, you know what? This is a player to watch when we're going to face them in our next match. I'm going to do a match preview for Nigeria versus Botswana, so watch out for that video on the channel. But Botswana did not look so good, and Algeria didn't either. Algeria have one player though. I forget her name right now. But I think it is Busaha, Lina Busaha, that plays for Al Ittihad, teammate of Ashley Plumter and Odega Francisca. That girl is tricky, man. That girl has some touches. She has some turns. If Abiodun is tackling anyhow, it's that girl that she will foul. She has some nice touches. She has some nice turns. Algeria are not the best side, but they have that player that I quite like. And then, of course, Kachuni scored the only goal of that game in the 10th minute for Algeria to get a 1-0 victory over Botswana. Two sides with not too much quality. It wasn't the most interesting match to watch, but I watched it because I wanted to see our opponents. But yes, Algeria got that victory. And then in Group C, South Africa played against Ghana. 2 first half goals for South Africa. And then Ghana were pretty much out of the game already at that point. Honestly, I knew that there was no way Ghana would come back. Although South Africa did show some lapses. South Africa are not the tallest, so of course aerial balls are always going to be something that they struggle with. It's just unfortunate. But the ground duels, they were winning most of the ground duels against Ghana. They moved the ball quite well. They moved the ball quite well. They played a good game, but sometimes I think South Africans can be a little bit jittery in position at the back. So if we play with a high press, might be able to make them to make some errors. And I just think that South Africans did not play the best game of football. I remember when we played against South Africa in our opening game of the last WAFCON, they looked so much better than they looked in the opening game of this WAFCON for them. Of course, South Africa is still a team that you have to respect. I mentioned before the tournament started, Jermaine Sioposenwe, her finish today was good. She's been scoring goals for South Africa. She's a good player and she's one that we would have to watch. She's older now, she's 31 years old, but she's trying to go out with a bang. And she's going to be a key player for South Africa in this tournament. But for this opening game that they played, they were okay, they were good, but they weren't great. They weren't great. I don't think that they were as good as Super Falcons were. But they beat Ghana soundly. Ghana, of course, they're not the strongest team in Africa. They don't have the most quality. They have a couple players here and there that can give them something, but the South Africans were too good for them. And it will be interesting to watch Bayana as they continue with this competition. And then match day one finished with Mali versus Tanzania. It was a 1-0 victory for Mali, with Saratu Traore scoring the only goal on the stroke of halftime. As far as I'm concerned, this was probably the worst game of match day one, Mali versus Tanzania. Both teams were low quality, I have to be honest. Both teams were low quality, Mali versus Tanzania. There was not that much to be excited about. Tanzania started the game on the upper hand. Tanzania were pressing. They were actually moving the ball quite well. I was like, oh, okay, these Tanzanians are playing some football. But then going forward, when they got into the final third, they did not really know what they were doing. The Malians were not really helping. And then the Malians switched things up a little bit. And then they just took over the game. And then they started having chance after chance. And then they finally got a goal. Second half came. They continued like that for the next 10 minutes of the second half. And then Tanzania took over the game again. And then they were trying to create chance after chance. But the chances were just not high quality. The only game that was maybe as bad as the Mali-Tanzania game was maybe the Algeria-Botswana game, because that one too was not the highest quality match of football. But watching Mali versus Tanzania, those are two teams that I don't expect to really do much in this tournament. I have to be honest. It wasn't the best game of football. I think the best game in match day one, or the best team rather, the best team in match day one was Senegal. Their 4-0 victory at DR Congo was very comprehensive, very easy for them, very comfortable. Senegal were the best team in match day one. Two of their players scored 2 goals, so they are currently the 2 top scorers in the WAFCON so far. I think the second best team of match day one was Nigeria, the Super Falcons. 3-0 victory, chance to score more. They look like a good side, never really under much pressure. The third best team at this tournament, I'll probably give to Zambia or South Africa. South Africa played against Ghana, not a very strong side, so they had it fairly easy. Whereas Zambia played against Morocco, a much stronger side, so they had it a bit tougher. But either of the two that I will give for the third best, match they won performance, and then Morocco will come after that, and then the rest of the losers can come underneath. Unfortunately or fortunately for us, the way the draws are done means that if we win our group, we will play against the second place team from Group A, which is probably going to be Morocco or Zambia. So we know that we're going to face one of those two teams in the quarterfinals. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to match day 2 to see how the teams fare. Nigeria will be facing Botswana. Zambia will be playing Senegal, DR Congo versus Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, Ghana, Mali, Tanzania, South Africa. It's going to be interesting. But so far, so good for the Super Falcons. So far, so good for WAFCON 2024. I'm enjoying the tournament and I'm looking forward to seeing how the tournament goes on and hopefully seeing the Super Falcons of Nigeria lift the trophy at the end. Some people are saying they want Morocco in the quarterfinals. Morocco is probably easier for us to defeat. I will say that. Zambia have more attacking quality. I think it's going to be hard to stop Banda and Koninaji, regardless of who you are. Our defense has a better chance to stop the Moroccan attack. I will say that. I will say that. I think that we are a better team than Morocco for sure. So if I had to choose, I'll probably choose Morocco as well. Even though they're the host nation, so a little bit of Ojoro might come into the whole thing there. I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. But if they are playing against Nigeria, the stadium might actually be quite full. So we might start to see lasers, lasers being pointed in the eyes of the player, and all those kind of things. So I really do hope that it doesn't, it doesn't happen like that. But we have to wait and see. Somebody asked, what if we come second in our group? So if we finish second in our group, we are going to face the second place team from Group C, which will likely be Mali, Tanzania, or Ghana, because I'm expecting South Africa to win that group. So it might actually be better to finish second. But I don't see how we're not going to win our group. You don't have to win all your games and face whatever is in front of you. But if we finish second, we'll face the second team from Group C. South Africa will probably win Group C, so it will be Mali, Tanzania, or Ghana. I don't know. If we intentionally finish second, I think that it will be match fixing. So we can't even do that. We can't even do that. It will be match fixing. So I don't think we can do that. We will win our group and we will play Morocco or Zambia. And we'll be ready for them. We don't have reason to fear Morocco or Zambia. They are good teams, don't get me wrong. They have some quality, but we don't have reason to fear them. We can beat them. As long as we play our game, our players put in the best efforts that they can. The coach needs to get his selection right. I think we'll beat them. I think we'll beat them. If you want to join the program and share your thoughts, please click the link to call in. Make sure that we can hear you. You have your camera on as well. You're fully clothed and you get a chance to share your thoughts. Now, I want to address two things very quickly. One was something that came up after the Super Falcons match. For whatever reason, Omorista Babajide came under fire a little bit for her celebration when she paid respect to deceased Liverpool forward, Diogo Jota. Many people on social media started to criticize her, saying, oh, but you didn't pay respect to Peter Rufai. You didn't do something for Peter Rufai. And I felt like it was rather unfortunate and unnecessary. Before the game, there was a minute of silence for Peter Rufai. The players all wore black arm ropes. I'm joking, armbands, but it was more of a rope than a band in honor of Peter Rufai. She paid respect to him. Now, did she do a celebration in honor of Peter Rufai? No, she didn't. But Peter Rufai was a goalkeeper. He didn't have a signature celebration. So what celebration would she have done really? Other than if maybe you wanted her to wear an undershirt that said RIP Peter Rufai or something else. I think whataboutism is a little bit of like a disease. We can always say, what about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? She did not do anything wrong. Babajide is a former Liverpool player. She's a Liverpool fan. Diogo Jota was one of her best players. Diogo Jota was a player that was there while she was there. She feels a connection to the guy. She likes the guy. She wanted to pay respect to him. Her paying respect to Jota does not mean that she does not respect the late legend, Peter Rufai. So I felt like it was unnecessary for people to start criticizing her and dragging her. Because at the end of the day, no matter what you do, people are going to talk, whether they like it or not. Nigerian fans criticize when something is actually done wrong, not just because someone did not do what you wanted them to do. When there's actually something that was done wrong. She did honor Peter Rufai. She honored Diogo Jota as well. I understand that she did not honor Peter Rufai in the same way she honored Diogo Jota. But please, that's not something that I think we should criticize our player for, especially when she has just put in a quality display. You know, Nigerians, I know we get upset easily over different things because of different reasons. But please, let's calm down. Let's calm down. Let's calm down. Now, that's that on Mr. Babajide. The last thing I'll talk about before I allow people to share their thoughts. If you've been following the channel, you know that previously we've spoken about the whole Sia and Mikel Obi back and forth that was happening. Well, not really back and forth, back and back. Because Mikel said what he said on the podcast, and then Sia made some comments. Other people in the media made some comments. Now, Sia in an interview with Brilla FM has reportedly denied saying what we all watched him say on video. The video that was shared on Elegbete TV, I'll play the video so that you hear what Samson Sia said.
I went to Olympics 2 times. You think it was a joke? Back to back. Since we're going to Olympics, I did go. But Mikel agent called that Mikel cannot come. And Mikel wasn't the starter in Chelsea then. It was the bench. It wasn't the starter. And I told him, we only have one game against Ghana to play. Please, come and help us to play like it. And that was it. I said if he doesn't come, he won't go anywhere. So Mikel refused to come. That he said he's playing in Chelsea. We went to Ghana. We needed a draw, right? They brought Asamoah Gyan. Everybody came. It needed that win. Nothing happened. Played very well. At the end of the day, 0-0 qualified. Going to the World Cup or the Olympics, Mikel wants to come and play. His agent said he will give me 50,000 euros that you should come and play. I said, okay, it's not about 50,000 euros. You didn't play to qualify. So I will take out someone that qualified us and bring you in. And it not going to happen now. Even you go anywhere, it not going to work for you. Because the team will not go anywhere because you are doing the wrong thing. People that play to qualify should go. That's why Mikel didn't go. But at the next one, he was who was the first to go?
So those were the comments that Samson Sia made. So hearing that he is now claiming not to have said those things is shocking. It's shocking. Some people said he's blaming AI. If it was AI, it's very, very well done AI. Very, 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 very well done AI. I don't understand how he can be denying those comments. Unless he is saying that people misinterpreted what he was saying, which then he would have to explain to us exactly what he meant. The only other thing that I can think of that might make him upset, maybe that video was not supposed to come out to the public. Maybe they were getting ready for an interview and he did not realize that the camera was on and he was talking and he was gisting. Because I've had many conversations with football players that I cannot put out in the public. I've had conversations with football players that if I play the audio or the video of what they said, it will create stories. Like really, literally, to create stories and drama. But the players said those things to me in confidence. So I cannot come out and betray their trust and put it out. If we're doing an interview, it's an interview, they know it's for the public. So maybe they were gisting before the interview or something, and it was just talking, and he did not know that they were going to go and publish that part. I watched the video again today, and I saw that there were a number of cuts in the video. So it looks like some parts of what he was saying were cut out. I don't think that they cut out the part where he was talking about Mikel, but maybe there's context before or after that we are missing. Because based on what we saw in the video, it was clear that he said Mikel's agents said he will give me 50,000 euro for him to play at the Olympics, and I said no. Sia, if he's claiming that that's not him, everything that he has said before now starts to lack credibility. That's the reality. Everything now starts to lack credibility. We know that that's how they do it in court. They will just say, look at what this person said before. Look at what he has done before. How can this person be a credible witness? Everything that he has said before is now starting to lack credibility if he is trying to take this back and claim that he did not say it when he is there in 1080p on video and audio. So I know that before I had said, why would Sia be lying? But I'm at this point that I'm now saying maybe he was lying, because why is he lying about this one that we've all seen? So maybe he was lying. I don't know. Samson Siasia, I've had previous conversations with him. I've even interviewed him. You can watch it on the channel. You know? So I like him as a person. But when I saw the report of him denying saying these things that we all watched, I think that he is not helping his case as a credible person. Why should we take anything that he says about any situation to the bank again in the future? That's what I would say about that. God bless Samson Siasia. God bless John Obi Mikel. God bless Elegbete TV. Okay, let me hear what you guys have to say about all the topics discussed today. Welcome, Tim Tokbe.
Good morning, AyoT.
Yes. Thank
Can
you
you hear
very
me?
much. Yes, I can hear you.
First
What
of
do you
all,
have
I
to
want to
say?
talk about can you hear me now?
Yes, go on.
I talk about Osimhen first. For me, it's a good move.
Mm.
I bet they don't know. Chelsea don't want to sign him anymore. Everybody wants to just go in for small player. Chelsea can go and buy you paid for 60 million. What would Pedro? Arsenal want to buy Yoko pay for Arsenal, but add money for Arsenal transfer. Not give up the money, add money to transfer to go to Arsenal, add money to Arsenal. That's secondly. So for me, good move for Osimhen. This is right. Secondly, about the Falcon manager, I think for me, I play Ochebe and Anide as two big people in the midfield alongside HG and big creativity in that number 10 row. And now play number seven, I Ajibade captain number 7 and play number 9 Okoronko that game like Okoronko and Baba in the wing. That's what I would do. That's what I would do about the attack for Falcon. That give us more creativity in attack than what playing the boy Abiodun at number 10. The boy is very too rough. I watched that match yesterday. It was very rough in that game. About Chacha and Mikel, I think Chacha, that time is drunk. I watched that video live. He's drunk. And today I miss Layi. After like he's drunk. That's what I'm saying. Thank you, IoT. Bye
All
bye.
right. Thank you very much, Tim Tokbe. Thank you. Those are Tim Tokbe's comment, not my comment. I don't see anybody drink anything. Very good. Okay. Prof Data, welcome, sir.
Hello, are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Let me talk of CSS case.
Okay.
CSS should remember he was the same person. Sorry to say it. Years ago, for 1989 on the 20. Oh, there's a World Cup. After going for that World Cup, he forged his certificate, his international passport. He brought it down by either 10 years. Those were one of the reasons why Nigeria got that ban in 1991, both under 20 and under 17. So I'm not surprised he's coming to deny something. I'm not surprised. And I'm also not happy because, as you said, his reputation is now questionable. You understand? I know I remember in the last program, one of the programs, you made it clear, you and your colleague, you were saying your colleague that it's like personal matter. How can he come and say, Mikel, is he pro? No, that is awful of him. That's what I have to say on that thing. And to me, let them settle their differences. And him himself, he should think well. He shouldn't come and just be talking anyhow. But I'm not surprised. This is someone within that era. He brought down his age in international passport. Doctored his age. Let me just put it like that. Now, concerning the Super Falcons, I'm happy you said something. You see all these female teams in Africa, they are coming up. But to me, Nigeria is still Nigeria. Let's call a spade a spade. Morocco, they just elevated their status due to what happened in the last edition of the Nation Cup. I don't see them as that great. Sorry, a call came in.
Yeah, go on.
If we're to play that Zambia, tell Kundenachi, Zambia is done. You see those two players, curtail them, deny passes, Zambia is done. Concerning South Africa, I see them as almost the threat, a real threat. Why I see them? Because South Africa and North have started, the rivalry has started. I know that rivalry to me started in the year 1995 when there was an invitational tournament they invited, we were to attend. But due to that current Sarua thing, they just cancelled, the invitation. Then the next year was the Nation Cup to be hosted by them. Then Abacha made sure they didn't go. So that's where that rivalry came up. And you see, it's coming intense. I never expected the intensity to come on. And I don't blame them. This is South Africa for years. They weren't able to score against the Super Eagles. This is South Africa who were defeating their ladies like mad. So the rivalry is there. And to me now, one of the highest rivalry Nigeria will face is South Africa. On any level, not only football. So that's the main thing. And the team Nigeria, their biggest match is their quarterfinals. Because we're going to meet whom is the second place team from Group A. And as it is, that group is still open because I was very surprised since Senegal demolished Congo. When I saw that result, I was surprised. 4-0, not 2-0, 4-4. So that group is still open. It's still open. But the truth of the matter, we're going the tendency of facing Zambia or Morocco is there. So that is when these Falcons is when they excel there. I will know. But for now, I don't see. I know these other teams; they're great, but I know they're not. They haven't reached our level. They should. They have not. They have not. So that's it. What of your colleague? Even though I didn't start watching your program from the on start.
No,
Where is
Smith
Smith?
Layi is in
He
Morocco.
wasn't available today.
He's in Morocco. So
Hello.
can you hear me? Smith Layi is in Morocco.
Wasn't Smith available?
He is in Morocco. I think Prof Data is having issues hearing me. But I hope the rest of you guys can hear me. But yes, Smith Layi is in Morocco, so he's unable to join us right now. But thank you very much, Prof Data, for your thoughts. Thank you very much. Let me bring on Uche. Uche, welcome, sir.
Yes, good day. You can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So I'll start with Osimhen. So I feel like his issue started with signing the contract extension. So that's where his problem started, and then his the whole spars with the media. that also infuriated the or strained the relationship between him and Napoli and made it difficult and gave him a personality of someone that does not know how to keep the peace in the dressing room. And so that gave this kind of inclination to other clubs that, oh, this guy is a trouble person, even though he's not. So I think that has given him, um, people start comparing him to Icardi, comparing him to Balotelli. Yeah, so that's the place he's at right now, and so that's why he's having challenges getting suitors. For me, I feel like maybe he didn't really have suitors like that. Maybe he wasn't at the top runner. Maybe whenever his name comes up, people will be like, no, 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 we want to keep the peace in our dressing room. So that's where he's at. But it's going to be pathetic that someone's career that was heading to the stars ended up landing at the moon. Not even the moon, came back to Earth. Yeah. So that's what I can see in regards to that. I hope maybe this the rejection right now, because I heard he was rejected by the what's the name?
Napoli.
Was rejected by Napoli. I hope maybe one of these teams will just take that in. I'm like, okay, let's push through. Like I know Liverpool wants to exchange players, so hopefully I hope that works because Osimhen ending up in Galatasaray. That's painful. That's painful for future players that will come out of Nigeria. Like i- if you're to compare Chukweze's career and his Chukweze's career, he ended up in a big team. He ended up in AC Milan. Boniface ends up there too. The career actually is better off compared to, and I felt like he will end up being better. He would end up winning more silverwares compared to Mikel. That's what I felt he was going to do, but looks like money is more important than shining, giving like prestige to his name. Yes, and aside from that, one more topic I'd like to talk about. Yeah, the Siasia and Mikel issue. I feel like there's been a bad blood between the two of them from the get go. Maybe after even the under 20 in 2005, I think that's where I started having issues with him. Maybe he did not give him part of the share of his. Maybe you can't tell because I don't know that kind of bad blood. Then Elekbete keeps trying. I don't know. It's like he has this penchant way of making sure that he has issue with our biggest stars. Like he's either telling you that you won't be no Sabi play ball, but it will be like being scouted by Atletico Madrid. So
I
some
think I think Elegbete is our Nigerian Graham Souness.
yeah, Program Seniors does his own with class. He
You
does
know,
it with class.
it's those guys that just they are very hard for you to please. Everybody just they always have something to say.
Yeah. So I feel like Elegbete should have pushed that out when you do not know. It's more like someone that's trying to save his career, that's trying to be a coach, that wants to probably get a job. You end up putting out something in regards to bribe outside again. Now, I heard them. What's the Mikel's former agent is requesting that he pays 250. Where does he have the money? He couldn't pay 50K. Now 250 won't pay. So I think like our journalists should also try and help.
But to be fair, I will say this because I'm also a person in media.
Yeah.
If you grant me an interview, I am well within my rights to put it out.
Yeah,
Unless, as
but
I said, unless maybe the video was recorded without his consent, or maybe like because like maybe like now, if I'm supposed to interview you, you come to my studio, you sit down, we might just be gisting at the beginning, and you can say some things that you don't know that the camera is already rolling,
on yeah.
and you say some things. Maybe that's what happened, and that part was not supposed to come to the public. You
Mhm.
know, but if I say, oh yeah, sit down for interview, you sit down. And the reason I say this is because if you watch the video that Legbete posted, the video doesn't start with any kind of like, oh, welcome to the show. You know, this
Yeah.
is, there's no welcome. It just goes straight into Yans.
It just be as if they set am up.
Yeah,
That's
so
what
it
it talk.
almost, it now feels as if maybe the guy did not really know and it was just talking,
Talking.
you
Now
know.
based on saying na my guy, we will just talk.
Yeah, because like I
Yeah.
said, I've had players that will come and tell me, like they're talking about other Super Eagles players, and they tell me that, the things that this guy cannot even really play. Like how this guy, But obviously,
Yeah.
when they are saying it casually, they don't expect me to now go and write reports. Okay, Osimhen said this guy is not good, kind of thing. So maybe that's what happened. But if it was a legitimate interview, then
Mhm.
like did not do anything wrong. Like,
Yeah, yeah, but even if it's a legitimate interview, it's still in the right of the person being interviewed to say, okay, I don't want this. Maybe the agent of that of CRCI, if he does have one, should also tell Ekpete, I don't want to see this.
you
Let me
can't see
watch
that,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, let me watch it. Let me see it. Let me view it. And if it's something they don't like, they'll be like, okay, cut this part out. I don't want to see this. So that's the same thing I'm saying again. I do not know whether Elecpete is trying to shine, take the moment to shine at the expense of one of our heroes' career. Like you keep putting them at logheads. The first one, Mike does not want to see Men's career to blow. So those are the things I keep listening to, and I'm like, okay, what is your goal here?
Mm.
What is your goal here? You're like, it's not like no be today where you start journalism. Like, okay, even though you might have beef with these footballers, but try. Let us do our best to help the Super Eagles brand shine. No be say anytime we did the year Super Eagles, corruption, 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 corruption. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't benefit us. Like so that's that about that. Then for for the transfer news, I don't know. Maybe this period is like it's like all we're having a bad outing
This window.
this window. Like Rafael Yedika, we never hear anything. Duro Simi, we never hear anything. Who else again? Okay, Tino Anjorin went to Torino. Good, yeah. So, but the rest, I don't know. Like we keep even what's his name, Frank Oyeka. We do not know whether he's going to stay in Brentford or if he's going back to Germany. NDD. And most times you just been hearing news. I don't know whether it's audio news. You hear that Juventus is coming for ADT. Oh, Man United. At the end of the day, might end up in FRT. And so like I hope hopefully I don't know what's going on. I expected that this set should end up turning up for the biggest, like if not biggest club, but if you go to the top five league, they should be
A number of them.
the teams in between the first position, the fifth or seventh or eighth position. That's what we want them to be. It will give them more prestige and also confidence whenever they go face their counterparts. Yeah. So that's all I have to say right now.
All right. Thank you very much, Richard, man. Always nice to hear from you. Thank you for always tuning in.
Have a good day.
All right. Okay. We have two more callers and then we'll call it a night. First of all, let me welcome Mr. Dinon. So, good evening.
Good evening, bro. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for joining me once again.
Yes, my brother. So yeah, I've heard what you said about this year 10, and all I can say is that I was not surprised at all,
Mm.
even by any much, because think of it, why would Mikel come out and make that statement, knowing fully well that if it turns out to be untrue, that will very much cast a very negative shadow on his reputation. And we know that that has been happening in Super Eagles for many years. It even happened in Atlanta. There were some players that had to use their money to support some of the finances of our Atlanta 96 Olympics, which we eventually won. because we won it, a lot of things were not brought to light about what actually transpired. Um, him coming, I think it's more, it has a pro and con to it. Him coming out and, accepting, I wouldn't call it accepting, admitting that, so indirectly admitting that what he said was wrong. That is good because this type of conversation needs to be flushed out of the media because it's not well worth wasting time having this type of conversations about who paid for the flight and who didn't pay. I'm glad everything is out on the open right now. That I don't think there's any more to really go back and forth. Well, provide me the evidence and all that, the receipts and all that. So on the side of our Super Falcons, like we talked about yesterday, very impressed with what I saw. I hope Madugo would very much keep those girls on top of their toes and have them watch subsequent matches because I did not feel that Tunisians tested the Falcons' ability to pass the ball and return it. They had all the time to roll their passes and their ball control will not even grade it with this game because they had too much room to control the ball. So I am concerned about our group stage opponents because I do not see any of them really pushing the Super Falcons, putting them under pressure to really control the ball under a high pressure situations. That is something they have to be very careful with against a team like Ada. I wouldn't, before I put you, I wouldn't be concerned about Morocco. The only key thing is not to repeat the mistake from the last time. If we are playing 11 versus 11, Super Falcons will come out victorious against Morocco anytime, any day. They are not our rival. I would say that. But we have to be very, very cognizant and careful with the Zambians. The Copper Queens, they are for real. They have three-headed monster in their attack that could hurt you if you don't pay attention to them. And that is where, like I said to you yesterday, our midfield is going to be extremely crucial if we are to meet Zambia in this championship, because we need to stop them from the middle and not let them insert themselves at the heart of our central defense. Barbara Banda can shoot from any place in that field. Same thing goes to Kondo Nanji, that those two and Chanda, those three can shoot from any position. One thing I like about our girls is that they can equally be as physical as them, but you have to be very smart not to dive in with your studs up and get an automatic red card. I am concerned for this team with the type of tackles that I'm seeing so far. They will meet teams that will challenge them, and the two that are I watched South Africa today, and I must tell you, the ball on the ground, they are good with the ball on the ground. But where would Nigeria hurt them badly is on the air. They do not have an answer for Nigeria on the air. Any through ball in that 18-yard box is up for taking. That is, we have a big advantage against South Africa when it comes to that aspect. On the ground, we have girls that has the legs to run against them. That is the big difference from the last time or the last Nations Cup also that we played, and the one that won 2-1. It is a huge difference compared to the team we have on hand at the moment. So I'm looking forward to meetings with these teams, but the ones that I will not be pounding my chest and be, wanting to watch is Zambians, because that team can be something. Like we said, our only loophole is their defense that are very rash. We need players that can be very physical and dislodge them with their mental focus. And we have those players. Ihezu and Okoronkwo can do the magic there. And 2 years ago, I would said something. If you go back in the last AFCON, if you go back, there was something I said, and I would say that I will still stand by that. It's a former Onomon. Remember how what War Drum described Onomonu as?
Mm.
Okay, go back to that interview. We sometimes are very questionable about Alozier's ability to play the full 90 minutes and keep, full composure. We have one of the best utility players that you can plug anywhere in that field and she will give you what you need. Same as Uchebe, that right fullback. If it's going to be a weakness, Onomonu can play right fullback.
Hmm.
Uchebe can play right fullback, if not more than Alozia. That informal anomaly is extremely very important in this team. If all the two starting defenders are injured in Falcon, who would you put at that central defense? I would be comfortable putting Uchebe and Onomonu.
Hmm. Interesting.
More than comfortable putting those two there. They are very good utility players. Uchebe has proven that against South Africa. You saw that for yourself.
Uchebe, no doubt, she plays centre back for her club, so that one I understand. But Onumono in centre back is going to be an interesting one.
Onomonu is very physical.
Mm.
That girl is because he's playing with his back against the ball. We don't really see how physical this girl is. She is a very wiry, strong player. He's not the type of player you can easily dominate. You cannot dominate her really on the air. She's tall. She's quick on her feet. Do you think they can outrun her or outmuscle her? That girl is very strong, my brother. We have a lot of utility players in this team. So I think Madugo needs to just get his lineup, set. I think our best lineup from watching the games and watching our opponents. It's not just about watching what your team can do. I think our best lineup in this competition is a 4-2-3-1. It's a 4-2-3-1. Put Abiodun and Allende at the base of that defensive midfield. You can put anybody at the tip of that three attackers, but Ajibade and Greensola should very much be playing from the left and from the right, respectively. Our top striker, I said this to you, you will remember I said that Ihezuo has not been seen in African scene. And did she disappoint you?
She scored with
She scored, and his mobility is what I liked a lot. They did not. They made sure that the Tunisian central defenders were not comfortable. Her, and Okoronkwo. After watching that game again, I I must give kudos to that Tunisian goalkeeper. Take that girl. If that girl was not a really good goalkeeper, that game could have been 7-0. She made really big saves for the Tunisians. So kudos to her. She's a good goalkeeper. And I think Super Falcons is in a great place, talent pool, and they will get better even after this AFCON because you have the likes of Gift Monday and Edna Emade coming in, and the girl from San Diego. I don't know why I keep. Is it Okachuku? I keep calling
Okuchuku Choma.
she.
Chiamaka, sorry. Chiamaka Okuchuku.
San Diego is no joke. For a team to have a faith in a young player like that, my brother, she's got potential. So the team can only get better, and I'm very much looking forward to what the future has in hands for us to watch with the Super Falcons coming to the transfer window. Man, I must tell you that I'm having cold, how would I say, chills on my toes, not seeing much action other than Tino and Jorin going to Torino. Duro Simi, what's up with the Wolves? Onyedika, what's up with the West Ham or Everton? I prefer please go to Everton. Uh, Lookman will be a perfect fit for Atletico Madrid on the left, or even going to. I wouldn't think Arsenal would be ideal. Do I think he is a better fit for Arsenal playing from the left? Absolutely, more than Martinelli. If an opportunity comes at Liverpool, might be if Diaz is leaving, go for it. My best advice to to Boniface, please, please, please stay at Bayern Leverkusen. Stay at Bayern Leverkusen and stake your claim. Reclaim your reputation. You were the top striker there. Reclaim. I'm hearing the whispers of AC Milan. AC Milan is not an upgrade at all. Leverkusen is a better club, talent-wise and managerial-wise. Stay with Leverkusen, you'll be better off there. Other than that, my brother, my only question to you is Tosin eventually going to play for Nigeria, or are we a bait for England? Because I've seen some of these players using Nigeria as a bait to get call-ups.
I wish I had the answer to that question, but only Tosi and his people know exactly what he's doing. He's already getting to the older side. The England call up does not seem to be coming for him anytime soon. If I were his agent, I would just tell him, brother, you have a chance to play AFCON in December. Just play for Nigeria. But I don't know what he wants. Honestly, we have every time they ask him about it, he says the same thing that his focus is coming.
Mhm.
I think now he said a little bit differently that now has come to the time he wanted to establish himself in Chelsea, but now he has to start to think of those things. I really don't know what he's thinking of. England will not call him up.
The last conversation I had with Smith of the phone about this after the conference league final, that he made some statement was that why did England call up three players capable of playing central defense from your club and did not consider you? Colwell, Shalaba, Reece James. That is, they've already said where there's their focus is.
Mm.
As it stands right now, he is one of the guys I would say that I'm hoping that he makes that decision. Him and Maurice Jens, the guy that played for Maze
Yeah.
on loan last season, he is one no nonsense central defender. If that guy says yes, and Felix Uduakai says yes. Tosin, you can stay 50 years old and wait for England because there might come a time Kevin Bassey might operate from the left fullback for Nigeria. And I wouldn't mind him playing from left fullback because he plays very comfortable from there. He can switch in from the at the middle. He can switch in wide. Him playing as a left fullback is the same thing as him playing like a midfield slash a central defense because he will be a roaming wing back. His crosses are very crucial. I'm just hoping that these guys make the decisions. But when it comes to our game against Rwanda and South Africa, I'm not expecting any of those guys to feature in that game, even if their decision is to eventually play for Nigeria. Um,
Right.
I think that game, I'm saying it here today, it is time to bring back Liam Balogun. He has the mental, the experience and mentality to play in that high caliber game with Bassi in the central defense. He has that mental tenacity to be in such a game. I do not think a back-to-back game that Ekong might be okay playing the first game against Rwanda, but a back-to-back game might expose us big time. And we have to look at the geography. The geography of the game always matters. South Africa is not traveling far. They are traveling to their neighbor to play their away game. And they are,
So I have to cut you off just
yeah,
because we're nearly out of time and I want to bring our last caller on. And today was not really for Super Eagles talk, but I really appreciate your contribution. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, but
absolutely, my
we just
brother.
don't have too much more time. Thank you
I
very
will talk next another time.
much. All right. Okay. And final caller. I'm sorry, Mr. Dinos has taken most of your time, so we'll have to go quickly. But I did not to welcome.
IoT, henceforth, the Nonso should be the last person to be brought in. It takes time.
Yeah.
Uh, two things. Let me say this. Um, on the issue of Sia and Mikel, I know Elegbede is an independent journalist. He doesn't work for any radio station or TV station or any media house. So I understand that, but it should at least for now that we are having issues, all our players, it should please desist from making money from all these controversies, except it's being paid by NFF, to cause a rift between our legends, so that they will not be harmonized to tackle the shenanigans that's going on in NFF. That's on that. I'm only appealing. 'Cause I like the legends. Mikel, all of them. I like all of them. It should please. Everybody should please desist from that. At least for us to get our poor rights. That's on that. Then number two, on the issue of transfers, Osimhen is an adult. He should do what he feels we pay him. Playing Galatasaray, at least we'll see him in Champions League. Not much. I don't want him to play in Turkey. I don't want him to play in Turkey. But I will not sit here. I don't know what is going on. I don't know what's happening in his camp. So I will not be the one that will talk for him. But I want him to think twice before he takes any deal. No, Napoli, no go area for him. So I want him to play in one of the top five leagues. But if anything is not forthcoming, and Galatasaray is the only one that is coming in, and now they just bought this guy, Leroy Sane, from Bayern Munich. maybe they'll be fortified in the Champions League. But I wish him well. But on this short Boniface, bro, I put myself, I'm being emotional, but people should please put respect to AC Milan. They should please let Ayo. I'm talking to you in particular. You should please put respect to AC Milan. Boniface is a good player. I'm not saying he's not a good player. And all the players who have been mentioning, Chukwueze and Go. I, our new coach Allegri said he doesn't want to work with them. So we are going to let go a lot of players. Igletai is not the one that is our new scout. He's not the one picking for Boniface. So we are going to let go a lot of players. If Boniface is a good player, we all just said that he needs to be more focused on his football than his social media activities. He's a good player. He can play anywhere, can sign for any club. Be in Madrid, Dennis, he can sign for any club. He's a good player. He has the potential to play for anything. That's one. Then the one I'm going to say now about, see, people should stop bringing controversies into our football. Risola Babajide, I'm sure maybe she didn't know Peter Rufai until the man passed. Because we don't teach our players our history. Maybe she did, maybe if it was Shamaka, maybe Shamaka would have heard about Rufai because she's a goalkeeper. She must have heard about Rufai before Yama and stuff like that. But this again, our boy in England, she's a small girl. So she joined them to wear the black armband, the don't of the late legend Rufai. And she gave she paid all a tribute to someone I call her teammate in the Gojota. I think people just like to bring controversy when there's no controversy. These girls are on a mission. They're on a mission. If you know you cannot support them, please keep your data to yourself. If you want to talk about anything on Twitter, go and talk about your politicians. Leave these girls. Don't talk about that nonsense that she need to fight. The young girl may not know anything about the fight until the man passed. And she joined her teammates in honoring the late legend. So now, when somebody said Rufai celebration, 1988, Rufai was not raising his hand. It was 1994 that started raising his hand. So it was in 1988. He wasn't raising his hand. So Rufai did not have any standard celebration. But this girl paid tribute to her late teammate, Diego Jota. Even though she was in main team, Jota was in the main team. But they were in the same club before she moved. So people should please do not cause trouble in the team. The young girl had done what she wanted to do, or what is needed to be done. She did it fine. Let us all rally around them. And the team, I will say this. Sometimes your opponent determines how you play. I see that mindset that if you play Morocco, South Africa, or Zambia, you will see our girls in action. What we made England? Look at where we played. What made Canada? Look at where we played. But all the other I'm going to say is, Coach Madugu should please play the players at their best positions so that they can give in their best. Thank you
All right.
for that.
Thank you very
Again, IoT, please always respect 7 times champion. 7 times champions. Please. 7 times champions,
I've,
please.
I've heard
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much, Senator. Too. Thank you very much. Oh wow, it's been a lot of talk this evening. Honestly, this one has gone longer than I thought it was going to go. I didn't even think we would last this long. I'm already here at almost 2.5 hours. But I want to say thank you to everyone that has stayed with us for the entire program. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversations. I hope you guys, were one of the people that was engaging. I really appreciate you. Thank you very much to all the people that called in. Temitope, Uche, Adedotun, Dinonso. Thank you to those that supported us with the super chats during this program. We had Bola Okombi, we had Remy Ali, we had Alex T, we also had Uche. And thank you to everyone that is listening on replay or on demand. Please, please, please continue to support the work that we do. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, please make sure you follow the podcast, you subscribe, you comment, leave a review, and we really appreciate every effort that you make. If you are on replay on YouTube, you can still leave a super thanks to support the work that we do. And make sure you subscribe so that you continue to enjoy our WAFCON content. I'm going to be posting a video previewing Nigeria's next match, which is against Botswana on the 10th of July. So stay tuned for that one. And we'll keep on bringing the content throughout the course of the tournament, hopefully all the way until the Super Falcons win the trophy. This beautiful new WAFCON trophy. Hopefully, the Super Falcons will be the first to lift it. Until next time, I want to say a very big thank you once again. My name is AyoT. This has been the Naija FC podcast. I will see you on the next episode.